Okay, well, I just want to acknowledge that if I have to redo this for you, Samina, because it goes out of the process, out of integrity, I'm very, very happy to do so. Um, and we might want to consider changing the rules that I created because, yeah, we all want to be free and do what we want. And I just feel that if I started this by saying, what homework have I taken on, before actually saying what value did I get, there's no context for the homework and there's no emotion in the homework. So yeah, I'm just going to answer the question, what value did I get for myself in my session with you, Samina, where you led a mission marketing session to me for the very first time ever. And I was truly authentically doing this for me because I wanted to go through the process and get a very specific result for my own marketing. And so, yeah, let me talk about that and let me give a context. So this was session one of however many I'm going to end up having with Samina. Maybe I just need one. Maybe it's just this one, or maybe it's 12. I'm just in the space of really being, rigorously honest with myself, as as much as I can. Be honest with myself. My truth is that I don't know if I'm going to need another session or not even. So I got in the webinar, I asked Samina to take me through the webinar format, but only at the point where you have to figure out what is the one thing that your message is about, that you're training on, and then what are the 3 secrets that dismantle people's beliefs about why they can't do the one thing, or why the one thing isn't true and can't possibly be true. And holy shit, I just nailed all of it. I got my one thing. I got my secret 1, secret 2, secret 3, nailed. And when I say nailed, I just have, now we lead into the homework. The homework I've taken on is that I'm going to listen to the footage of my session with Samina where I actually got the one thing and the 3 secrets. And then I'm going to send this off to a writer on Fiverr and pay them to put the wording of the one thing and the wording of each of those secrets so that it is the most powerful language to use to get the result that I want to get on my webinar, which is instead of having my webinar be about an offer where people pay me, I want my webinar just to be about unconditionally giving the most powerful training I have on the planet. Is if I were to die tomorrow, what did I leave the world with today that would absolutely, definitely, even if I died tomorrow, this training would circulate to enough hands, the right hands, and certain people would embrace what I taught, and they would not attract the virus, the coronavirus, because of this message and applying it. And because I made it so clear on how easy it is to apply it, and you were just absolutely sold that this is what you got to do, more than you have to do a webinar or build a funnel or anything else you're doing right now to try to make a living or get clients or make money. That if I died tomorrow, you watch this webinar just from the training, like no intro, no offer. Like, I don't even know if that's why I say I don't even know if I need another session, Samina, because I think what just came from this session was so powerful that I no longer need a webinar. Like, I don't want a webinar. I want this message to permeate the planet, the message of 1212. And I want people who listen to the webinar format of just the training. So I'm going to turn this into a webinar training, but without the sales pitch or the offer, without, yeah, without any of that, just the message itself. Even get rid of the intro. I don't need to try to impress people who I am and what my credentials are and why I'm great and why when you hear the offer, you're going to give me money because you need to know what the offer is great and that I'm great. I don't care if you think I'm great or whatever. I don't, it's not about me. I just want this message to be heard and people apply it, and it will solve their economic insecurity problems. It will, this message. That's what I want. So that's what I'm selling, and I'm so clear about it. Thanks to going through this process with you, Samina. And what's great too is I'm left with, you know, it wasn't about you. You created this space for me to own my power and that I did this. It's like in my heart of hearts, I can honestly say, like, you didn't give me any wisdom, or you provided the vehicle and you provided yourself to let me go through this process and control the process in whatever way I wanted, and you just held the space and you let me be the director. Samina, play it now. Okay, stop playing it now. And then when you were Samina, please don't talk about that anymore. It's not related. Okay, you were just able to dance with me so that you were not providing any barriers to me, finding out what I need to find out and discover what I need to discover and get what I need to get, even if I can't explain it to you. In fact, I don't even need to explain it to you. I just need you to hold this space the way you do so divinely. And I always knew since the first time I not met you, but the first time after I met you briefly in a college course where we actually started to meet, every week for about 12 weeks. Holy shit, we should check that out. At a public library, the Toronto Reference Library, where you can't talk. And we met there and we just separately did our homework together without having to talk to each other. You held the space for this guy who was destined to get a 50%, maybe fail. And through just being with you once a week in silence, really, I got an A. And as you know, after getting that A, I never took another college course unless it was something I could convince you to also want to do it with me. And when I was successful in getting you to want to do it with me because it was related directly to the transformational work you also wanted to do, only then would I register for the course and take it. And I did about 4 courses that I got an A in because of you holding the space. And to get a full context of the value that I just got here, and I'm just going to share this with you, Samina. I want you to get the acknowledgement. And I think that's what I would like to invite every person who takes you up on your 12-12 gift of helping them with what you just did with me, for me. I would like to invite everyone, when she tells you to just say what value you got, that you're present to the value you got because of Samina. And what is it about Samina that you experienced that might have been different than what I just experienced, that had you have such a profound experience like I just did in my first, and I think only session I'm going to need of mission marketing. In my case, I asked to get taken through not just a webinar training, but if she could select something that queued it up right to the point where it's about those secrets, the actual training, that is the best training you have in you in the world, and to help you discover it and be able to language it in the form of a structure of the one thing, secret 1, secret 2, secret 3, that dismantles all the reasons why they don't want to do your one thing. That if you succeed in convincing them to do this one thing, they won't even need you. And that's the goal. Just like someone did for me when they showed me the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. At the second cup at Young and St. Clair, his name was Charlie. And he impressed upon me that if I did not want to be one of those 99 percentiles of people that just came out of recovery, 2 days ago I got out of recovery, that would end up relapsing because I was a crack addict as well as an alcoholic within the first year. If I didn't want to be that statistic, then he basically said, I got the one thing for you. I'm going to teach you how to help other people just like you not relapse, have permanent recovery for their life. I'm going to teach you that one thing, Scott. Even though we never said it this way, I'm just like recreating it as if it was a webinar structure format. That was the one thing. And once he taught me that that was the one thing, that everything I was learning, had to learn it, be responsible that really learn it, because someone else's life depends upon the degree to which I took this seriously. So if I do not want to learn this, with 100% passion, commitment, obsession to learn it, master it for myself, well, now I had another reason. If you won't do it for yourself, then do it for someone else. And that's what happened. I was like terrified of, what if I don't learn this right and someone who is suffering like me, I basically fuck up their life because I didn't treat it seriously. And so I treated it seriously. And I still do. So the value that I got out of this session is yet to be seen. Because when you see me put into action the homework that I just said I'm going to do, then you're going to look back and realize that, just like I do, that's what Samina made happen for me. Because I've been studying webinar training with Samina, for about 9 months, maybe a year. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to the very training that Samina just took me through. At least 12 times I've listened to this section of what she selected for me, because there were many choices of webinar content that I had already trained Samina and provided for her clients and herself. And she made the decision to bring this one. No, that's a lie. No, I told her to do it. So there you go. Truth is, I had an advantage over you guys. Yeah. Yeah, she asked me which one, and I said the one that's 1 hour and 11 minutes. I didn't intend to lie, guys. I'm sorry. So there you go. Okay, but still, wow. So I will have the writer get that language back to me before my next session with Samina. That's what I promised. I'm just going to see if there's any other promises I want to make. Yes, Samina, make this part of the promise that when the person does their video, if they get present to another promise they want to make, or if they get present to the fact that what they just promised you, they want to take it back, we got to release them, let them do that. But make sure they at least make the right promises, and make sure they make at least one. That is the most meaningful thing. That is their one thing. That if they did this one thing, it's going to make the project that they have picked or that they think this is about, complete faster to a quantifiable, measurable result for themselves. So, having said that, I'm going to go take a look. What is there for me, if anything? I'm going to hire a Fiverr person to redevelop, rebrand the logo for 1212 TV the way I envision it. And I will give instructions in this video. take a look at the current 1111.tv logo. I'll show it to you on the screen. Put the letters www subtly, similarly to how the words my on Samina's my1111agreement.com t-shirt, the way the word my, M-Y is. So it's very subtle. So it's like 1111agreement.com. But there's also this, if you look, it's the word my. So in this case, it'd be like www. And then I want you to not let the fact that you just saw the 1111.tv logo in any way impact or affect or in any way influence the fonts and the colors that you use for the new transformed .tv. Make sure that you keep in mind that this is my core brand. This is my logo that is used everywhere on everything, and it's going to be alternated during the coronavirus pandemic that's going on the planet right now. And people, until this is over, people are going to see a different black t-shirt. It'll be the same black t-shirt. It'll have the positioning of the logo up here so that it appears on camera the way it does. And you pick the colors that you believe would be as awesome as this logo is. This is a freaking awesome logo, as you can tell. And that's it. 1212.tv. And while I'm at it, I'm going to hire you, whoever you are, to take this logo that I'm going to send to you and do the same thing. Make it very subtle. www. And you know what? Whatever font you use for www for turnaround.tv, make that the very subtle bridge between these two brands. It's the only connection people can see between the two brands, turnaround.tv and 1212.tv. The only thing is, it's like, hey, isn't that www the similar www? Like, it's so subtle, they might not even notice that it's the exact same www that you've used in both turnaround.tv and 1212.tv. Yeah. So obviously you're not going to use a TV like this. Okay, so that was part of the homework. I'll get that done before my next session with Samina. And since there may or may not be another session, I may not, in all honesty, require it, then I will promise to have it done before next Sunday. That's it. Yeah, easily. This is all I want to do right now anyway. That's probably a clue that I picked the right homework. Okay, any other homework? also by next Sunday. It's my intention, but I can't commit because I'd be committing on behalf of a Fiverr writer who I have no business of having any idea if I can have the person commit to having it done by this time. But I'm going to say this is my commitment, but I may or may not fail based upon if the Fiverr writer is aligned with what I'm wanting to have done before next Sunday. I want to have the current 12/12 story that this writer has already started on and kind of like repurpose it in terms of like what is the story of 12/12? What's what's the long version story of how 12/12 got to come here? In other words, maybe it's like my founder's story, the story of, my Epiphany Bridge story, how I got, this huge epiphany, which really is the epiphany of my one thing, like the long version story of my personal journey and my Epiphany Bridge story, origin story, Russell Brunson style. Have that also written to go in the about page of the new 1212.tv website. So that's my homework. Feels so peaceful. I feel like saying these words came to my mind. It is done. Like Jesus' last words, I think, on the cross, although this is not anything to do with that, but it's like his final words were, it is done. That's how complete I feel. It is done. Like, wow. Yeah. I wonder if that's what Jesus meant when he's on the cross, it is done, meaning that his journey in this role on the planet in a human form, it is done. It's over. It's done. It's complete. It's done. That's how complete I feel right now with my whole experience with having a 2-hour mission marketing session with Samina. And it was less than 2 hours. Wow. Yeah. And here's what I know. Not everybody's going to have the same experiences I had and get the results that I'm about to get just from one session. And I know why, so I'm going to tell you why, so that you have the highest probability of not making this mistake that I did not make here today. It's absolutely critical that you're really honest with yourself, not coming from fear, from selfishness and self-centeredness and greed, and from survival energy. You're not coming from this place of okay, I gotta have this session with Samina, I gotta get the right shit, because if I gotta get this to get that, gotta get. There's no scarcity in I would say you should come to these sessions as if this was a passion project of yours that you love so much, and you don't need it to make money, but you do know this is so exciting for you that you get to do something that's moving your passion forward, so that someday you may be able to make a living doing the thing you love to do so much. If you came with that kind of context for your session with Samina on mission marketing, then and only then could you actually do what I just experienced. You have to have the right homework that's honest with yourself. You have to choose the right homework for yourself. And Samina can't help you do that. You have to come up with it yourself. If you do that, this will be worth every dollar you never paid Samina and never will. If money wasn't important to you right now. In other words, this is going to be worth every minute of your time. If you were a person who your time is worth way more than the money it could have cost you. Let's pretend this could have cost you $1,000 to be with Samina for 2 hours right now in this session. I know it was worth, for real, that was the right amount of money. That if this was $1,000, knowing what I got out of it, it's the right fee. So that's it. Make it something that is like, it's almost priceless, the value. It's like you're actually going to make some huge forward progress in having the ability to make more than a living doing only the work you love. And then the key becomes you being so present in the session with Samina that you come up with the only perfect right homework that is truly honors you and all your other commitments and how important this thing is to you, really. If you do that, it's going to be worth $1,000 to you that you will never pay, and it's going to be priceless.